Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike P. Waworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on the Rundown, 2A views, conservative news, and Craig, you know what day of the week it is?
Oh, yeah, it's Taco Tuesday.
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yummy, yum. It's like a dream. Yum, yum.
I never get tired of that
baby.
song, man. I never get
That's a
tired
great
of that
song.
song.
I just wish they would do like a street taco version. You know, not the Taco Bell version with the lettuce and cheese and all that nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. But, I got to tell you, I love me some street tacos, although I have to admit lately, so how, I don't know if you have this in Florida, right? But you know how we used to have the taco trucks. Well, now we have just like the pop-ups where someone comes out with a pop-up, put out a table, some chairs, and all of a sudden they're selling, food, right? Well, now they're like,
That's
it's
people
like
trying to
almost
feed out the taco truck. Wow.
right. It's like every other corner, and it's like, I get it. You're trying to you're trying to make a living. You're trying to eat things out, but I'm like, what about the people who actually have to go and get the things like licenses and do all the stuff and spend
Yeah.
all the money and pay the? What about all of them? What you're kind of undermining them, aren't you?
Well, it speaks to the state of your economy right there, right? There's people that either because of where they come from, they're not used to getting licenses, or they need to make ends meet, so they're just going to throw some food together and go out on the street and sell it. So
Right.
that's
Right. Well,
that's
it's
you.
it's like you understand the why, but then you also realize that there are people who, like I said, who took the time to go out and following all the rules, and they're losing business. I think what it's going to take is
Sounds like immigration policy, right?
it sounds exactly like our immigration policy. Exactly. Ah, very frustrating. Very frustrating. In any case, that's what we talk about here anyway. So it's nice though to see that. It's not nice to see. It is interesting to see that values have consequences. When you don't follow the rules, it has consequences. There's that they call it the butterfly effect. It's interesting because clearly there are consequences that nobody seems to want to accept.
Yeah. And listen, I'll say it's good to see that some people have that drive to go out and try and make a buck, but you have to do it the right way also.
Right. The right way matters. It really does. It really does. Anyway, speaking of making a buck the right way, why don't we go ahead and start by making a few bucks and give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, hitmanindustries.net. That's hitmanindustries.net. If you got yourself an AR in the past 5 years, you probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you could buy from them factory direct for your next AR build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Make sure out that 6th congressional race while you're there. You want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market. It's hawgholsters.com, HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. It's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you're looking for some tactical gear, you're just trying to get yourself set up at home, or you're getting ready to go all out, whether you're going hunting, fishing, camping, no matter what it is, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. Please take a moment, visit them. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out. If you like what you see, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also, want to continue to encourage you. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. I've noticed in the last few weeks, man, our following on Spotify has more than doubled. So Spotify, good job. Way to go, Spotify.
Double digits. Love it.
Double digits, baby, but double digits. Well,
Yeah.
the other thing I've noticed is that we're starting to get a few more folks on Rumble. So please make sure, folks, those are the two best platforms. Facebook, YouTube are eventually going to censor us and have censored us. There are some episodes that simply don't exist on those two platforms anymore. Besides, on Facebook,
Right.
we only can stream at 720. If you want to watch us in the full 1080, you got to go over to one of the other platforms. And we all know YouTube. Well, we all know they don't like conservatives. So some of the stuff we say is not going to continue to be there. So anyway, just want to encourage you guys. Please make sure Rumble, Spotify. If you haven't already subscribe. Also, we also streaming on Twitter, by the way. Yeah, we're also streaming on Twitter.
You mean
X? I know, it ruined my joke. When Twitter was like first becoming popular, I always had a joke. I had a joke. It was funny. Say, my mother said, if you keep playing with your Twitter, you'll go blind.
That's right. It's true. You got to turn down the brightness. Yeah.
Turn down the brightness on your Twitter. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, folks. Starting off, Senate has passed a foreign aid bill. And guess what? The foreign aid bill does not include border provisions. Now, this is interesting because originally it was the Democrats who wanted to include border funding in the bill, right? They were like, okay, well, if you want border funding, you're going to have to support all this other stuff, right? All this other foreign aid packages instead of each one being funded on its own. Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. So instead, because Republicans were demanding that the funding actually be and the policy actually be about securing the border, not, providing more funding so that they can process people just walking into the country. Democrats decided, we'll just pass it without that. And that brings us to today. Earlier today, the Senate passed a controversial foreign aid bill sending billions to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. 22 Republicans voted for this, right? 22 Republicans voted for it. 26 Republicans, I believe, voted against it. It says here the final vote was, first of all, let's go back real quick. It says the Senate passed a $95 billion national security supplement package to assist Ukraine, Israel, and Indo-Pacific after a tedious procedural process that came to an end early morning Tuesday. Basically, Republicans were filibustering. In any case, final vote was 70-29, with 22 Republicans voting yes, Democrat Senators Welch, Merkley, and plus Independent Bernie Sanders voting no. So that means that, there were 29 no votes. That means that there were 26 Republicans. So they passed this package, by the way, with more Republicans voting against it than for it. So the Republican caucus in the Senate did not support this bill. The package includes $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $9 billion for humanitarian assistance for Gaza, and nearly, and less than $5 billion for Indo-Pacific. And this is the guy right here, Mitch McConnell, who we have to blame for this package passing. I think, number one, this is a sign that it's time for Mitch McConnell to go because he clearly does not have the support of his caucus when it comes to very key issues, number one. Number two, Mike Johnson has made it very clear. Speaker Johnson has said, this is DOA in the House. They are not going to pass it unless, they'll pass a version of it, but that version will include border security provisions. Because if this is going to be a national security package, don't you think we ought to actually secure our border?
Right. Well, obviously, you and I do, Craig, and just about half of the caucus, the Republican caucus in the Senate, does as well.
More
First
than
off, you
half.
got
More than
9
half.
billion. I said just about, right?
Yeah.
You got 9 billion in Gaza humanitarian aid. Um, are we just going to deliver that straight to Tehran, or are we going to put it on the border and let them come get it? Because that's wasted, thrown away money. How many stories do we have to do to show you that every bit of the finance we put towards Gaza humanitarian aid ends up in the hands of terrorists?
Mike, you beat me to the punch on that one. That was exactly what I was thinking. I'm just like, so in other words, that's the Hamas relief fund.
Yes, there you go. Exactly right.
Because
exactly right. Exactly right.
anything we send to the Gaza Strip in the form of humanitarian aid, the majority of it gets stolen by Hamas. We watched the videos of it happening.
Yep. You want to send something to Hamas that actually makes a difference? Send food in styrofoam containers that if you don't eat in 24 hours, it goes bad. Because other than that, it's all being taken out of there and converted for Hamas use, for military use, for terrorism use.
We sent billions of dollars in there for piping, for people to pay for water, for aqueducts. Guess what they used it for? They used it to create missiles, right?
Yep.
That they were rockets that they're shooting at Israel. We sent tons of foreign aid in there for construction of schools and hospitals, and they used it to build terrorist tunnels.
Yep.
We send food. We send fuel in there. Nope. None of it. Actually, absolutely none of it winds up getting used for what it's supposed to be used for. It's just dumb, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why Republicans are gonna vote against it. And they're going to use it against them and say, you don't support Israel. And personally, by the way, I think all of these should be funded separately because all of them, there's a reason why, what provisions you should have in them, all of that. I believe that you can support Israel funding, but maybe not Ukraine. Maybe you want to see more money go to the Indo-Pacific. They ought to be debated separately because each one has its own merits. Each one should have its own requirements and qualifications, and an amount that's actually debated so that we know exactly what it's going to and what it's for. But that's not what happened. Let's just give them cash. Let's just send them some cash. That's it.
And yeah, like I said, you might as well just PayPal it to Tehran. Just send it straight there.
PayPal. Let them get their cut.
Yep.
Okay. Moving right along, Dem mayor blames Trump for border crisis. Now, this is an interesting one. So this is a sanctuary city mayor, right? This is the mayor of, I believe it's Denver, Colorado. This is Breitbart. Sanctuary city mayor cuts services for Americans and blames Trump. Says Democrat mayor of Denver, Colorado is imposing wartime-like shared sacrifice, end quote, on Americans rather than curbing his welcome for tens of thousands of illegal migrants. Mayor Mike Johnston, like other Democrat big city mayors, is also hoping his imposed sacrifice on Americans will spur voter turnout against President Donald Trump. Johnston spoke at a February 9th press conference 3 days after a Republican revolt blocked the more migration deal pushed by Senator Mitch McConnell. McConnell's deal opened Americans' border to the government directed mass inflow of migrants and provided $5 billion to help migrants settle in a myriad of cities and towns. This is a plan for shared sacrifice, said Johnston, who has already granted aid and support to 35,000 illegal immigrants, and he slammed the Republicans' defense of Americans. And let me play a little bit of what he had to say. There. Okay, it doesn't appear to want to play. All right, forget y'all. It says here, I'm here to talk a little bit about the devastating impact and the failure of Republican leadership in Congress this week to pass regime change and impact that will have both city budgets and services that we can provide newcomers in the city. We will start to have to greenlight a set of hard decisions on budget reductions across the city to meet those costs that we know will occur when they arrive. Now, Mike, I'm wondering. So, in other words, the people who elected him, the people who pay the taxes that pay his salary, they get a cut in benefits. Meanwhile, the people who broke the law in order to come into the country, they're going to receive those tax dollars and those benefits.
Yeah, you listen. We need to send to Denver as a bigger clown car so this mayor and his staff can ride around it together instead of separately. This guy is. How do you blame Trump for this? How what's the path your brain takes to say blame Trump for this? Well, we know it's page one of the playbook for the Democrat Party. Find a way to blame Trump, but this guy's got no dots that connect at all to blame President Trump for this, and it's humorous for us, Greg, to watch. Yet those on the right, but we know that on the left this sticks. We know that people will be going to the booths or be looking at Donald Trump as he gains the party's nomination here over the next couple of months. And they're going to say, well, Donald Trump's the reason that, immigrants can't live in these cities anymore. There's no money for them because of Donald Trump. What? Who's your president right now? What?
Right. Well, they're blaming Trump because what they're saying is, well, Trump is the one getting the Republicans to not support the additional aid. Well, okay. Well, first of all, there's no offsets for any of that money, like that package we just said. There are no offsets, meaning what they're going to wind up doing, they're spending money we don't have, which means they're just going to print more money, which means more inflation, right? All of us are going to wind up paying the cost, right?
Which
that
means
hidden
less
tax.
potato chips per bag,
I know. God, damn it, Trump. Anyway, but that's the thing is like, he won't support it because, number one, yeah, he doesn't support it. But number two, people act like Republicans can't think for themselves, right? Like Mike Johnson is sitting up there on the phone. Wait, Trump's calling on the hotline. Hold on. Yes, Trump. Yep. Yes, Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. President. Okay. Halt. We are not supporting the package because Donald Trump said we are not supporting the package. Do you really think that's going on?
It's this guy reminds me of that cartoon where there's the Democrat riding the bicycle and he sticks a stick in the front spokes and the bike goes tumbling over and then he gets up and goes, "Damn Trump."
That's pretty much how it works. That is definitely pretty much how it works. But anyway, folks, to make a long story short, blue cities are going to hell. I can tell you right now, we're doing a bunch of stuff here in Sacramento. We're electing a new mayor, a couple of the districts. We have city council races. And right now, the influx of immigrants is exacerbating the homeless problem here in Sacramento. And it's getting bad. It's getting real bad. And it is by far the number one issue in every big city that's out there because folks are pissed because they're like, look, I'm paying money. You're letting people go out and commit crimes. You're not enforcing the law. You've got, I've got homeless encampments, in my neighborhood park or on my bike path, right? You're inviting people to come to our community who may or may not speak the language, likely don't have any job skills. You're offering them all of these benefits, all of these social services that I have to pick up the dime for. When are you going to actually represent me?
No, they're not going to. They're not going to.
No.
They're not going to represent you that thinks about the actual where the dollars come from, as opposed to the magic wand they have at the Senate up and at the House.
Yep.
Craig, I'm curious why we're not sending these immigrants to cities like Detroit, which we know is an incredibly blue city, but also half vacant because everybody's left that city because it failed. We have entire areas of downtown vacant and boarded up, and then the other half, plowed under, and they got corn growing in what used to be downtown Detroit. Why not let them move there? Why not repopulate that city? These would be some hard workers, build that city back. Win-win, sounds like.
Yeah, except until, once again, the challenge right now is that we are more and more dealing with an economy that requires skilled labor, and I'm going to guess that in many in particularly technologically skilled labors. I'm willing to bet there's not a whole lot of nurses, not a whole lot of computer programmers or software technicians, not a whole lot of phlebotomists.
I'm talking about vacated Detroit. We'll send in some contractors, and these guys can come be the subcontractors and do all the building work.
Well, I know that they are sending people to Detroit. I just don't know how many they're sending, but they're sending them to all the sanctuary cities, so everybody can get in on the party.
All right, It's a party.
It is a party. All right, you might remember Cori Bush. She is a member of the squad. Probably, if there is a quote unquote, like Curly from Three Stooges, it would probably be Cori Bush, although she's the one with hair. In any case, Cori Bush is actually. This is how bad some of the stuff that they're doing on the left is failing them. Cori Bush is actually 22 points behind her Democrat challenger in her bid for re-election. And I'll read here. This is coming from The Hill. It says Representative Cori Bush is trailing her Democrat primary challenger by 22 points in a poll released Monday. The poll, commissioned by GOP firm Remington Research Group on behalf of the Missouri Scout, was conducted on February 7th through 9th and included 401 likely 2024 Democrat primary voters. The survey asked respondents for whom they would vote in a hypothetical primary held today. If the race were between three candidates listed in the following order: Wesley Bell, State Senator Maria Chappelle Nadal, and Bush, the question did not indicate which candidate was the incumbent. Half of the respondents said Bell, 28% said Bush, and 4% said Nadal. So in other words, people are recognizing that Cori Bush, your stuff ain't flying. Because of all of those, she's the one that's been in the news. She's the one that people are seeing. And Bell, in fact, even leads her amongst African-American voters, 43% to 35%. So I think Cori Bush could very well be on her way out of Congress.
Yeah, it's about that time, right? She was elected in 2020, so took office in January 21, and so she's had one full term in there. She's in the midst of her second term. The deal with the House being 2-year terms is, after the first 2 years, you're like, okay, they really had enough time to do things. And of course, what was going on in this nation at that point, trying to, again, continuing to put Donald Trump away for everything and blame him for everything, that people still believe. You look back at the polls a year ago, people still believe what Joe Biden was telling them. Obviously, that's not the case anymore. So everybody on that side of the party is getting a little bit more scrutiny. Well, she's in that second term. They know who she is now. She's getting the scrutiny, and they're like, no, the thumbs down. Time for you to go.
Well, exactly. And, I'm hoping that same sort of thing starts to happen. He is happening here in Sacramento with Mr. Ami Bera, who, not only took a knee with the Black Lives Matter movement, but voted to basically make it harder for police to be policed, made it easier for them to be sued, made it easier for them to lose their jobs and go to jail. I mean, when you hear someone say, well, I never supported defund the police, if they ever use the word reimagine law enforcement, That is code for defund the police.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of these folks masquerade, these Democrats masquerading as moderates need to be called out on that. And he, by the way, is one of them. Just saying, little campaign spot
absolutely.
right there.
He's what, like you said, his verbiage may change, but he's been a defund the police guy since this started.
Yes, he has. All right. Little more Super Bowl talk, or prior Super Bowl talk. There is a big hubbub going on right now with a Democrat in the House of Representatives over people not standing for the, I'm not going to call it the Black National Anthem, for Lift Every Voice and Sing. And well, here, let me just tell you a little bit about this. Let me share the story with you, okay? It says, Representative Steve Cohen is the guy. It says white Tennessee Democrat Congressman Steve Cohen was incensed that Super Bowl fans did not stand in respect for what he called the Negro National Anthem. Yeah, you don't get to use the word Negro anymore. Just saying. All right, during Sunday night's big game.
How old is this guy? Yeah. How old is this guy?
I'm surprised they didn't call it the Colored National Anthem.
What, you got to stand for them colored boys.
As it has for the last several championship games, the NFL opened the Super Bowl with the song "Lift Every Voice and Sing," which many agitators have proclaimed to be the quote Black National Anthem. Of course, it isn't a national anthem at all. But regardless, Congressman Cohen was not happy that the video of fans in the stands showed that not many were standing as R&B singer Andra Day performed the popular song. Very, very few stood at Super Bowl for Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Negro National Anthem. Not pretty picture of Super Bowl crowd, he wrote. Now, Mike, let me just share just a couple of points on that. Number one, it is not the Negro National Anthem. It has been referred to as the quote-unquote Black National Anthem, which I believe it is not a national anthem. There's an anthem. We have a national anthem. It's called the Star-Spangled Banner. That is the national anthem. And if you decided to stand for, you stand for that, right? If you didn't stand for God Bless America, I'd be okay with that too, because that also is not our national anthem. But the point being is, number one, they did it relatively early, like way before they did any of the other songs. So that's one reason why people didn't stand. Number two, for people, by the way, who get agitated that they sing that song, that they've been singing it the last couple of years, it's because of the move and the change, the Super Bowl is in Black History Month. That's the only reason they do it. It's not, they're not trying to be ultra woke or anything. It's Black History Month. Lift every voice and sing. And the NFL is trying to do their best to do that without coming across as BLM, although some owners still have, anyway, I won't even get into all that. But anyway, all that having been said, I think it's much ado about nothing. No, I don't believe anyone is required to stand for Lift Every Voice and Sing.
What's this politician's name? What's his name again?
His name is Representative Steve Cohen.
Okay. Ironically, the same name as the owner of the New York Mets. It's not him. I saw that in the picture. But it sounds like Mr. Cohen's trying to get a little bit of the black vote here this term, and he found a way to do it. Not with a local issue, just enough to say, look what I did. Look what I did. So don't forget to vote for me this time around.
That is actually something that I did not think about, but you are likely correct. That was probably something he did to try and gin up some of the black vote. Because, by the way, that's all Democrats really do, is take up nonsensical issues that really don't address any of the real issues impacting our communities. Period.
That's right.
I mean, just saying. If you want to know who's actually implemented policies that have benefited us, that would probably be Republicans. I would just look under Donald Trump. I'll say it again. Incomes went up for everyone, including black community, including black households. Unemployment hit an all-time low. Investment in historically black colleges for a decade. I'm just saying. Not saying, just saying. How about that?
But he's a racist, Greg. He's a racist and a homophobe.
He is a racist. He is a racist. But at least he never called it the Negro National. Well, I won't say he never called it the Negro National Anthem. Anyway, yeah, dude. How old you gotta be to call it the Negro National Anthem?
I know, right? That's
since we were in a light mood,
ask somebody, you know.
Ask somebody.
Yep.
All right, well, hey, folks, that brings us to our parting shots, brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com, use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. For those of you who are wondering, is there support for Donald Trump in the black community, or is support growing? There is yes, there is support in the black community, in particular in places where you wouldn't expect.
If President Trump came here to the South Bronx, would you attend the rally?
Of course, I would want to meet Trump. I want to shake his hand.
He's the only president that I see that can ever make America great again. He's capable of doing that.
I would love to go to a rally with Donald Trump come, because I'm a big Donald Trump supporter, and I will support him 100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely we're going to show him love. We're going to show him a lot of love, and, like they do in other states. We definitely need to see Trump here.
There's nothing but love for Donald Trump here in the South Bronx, the North Bronx, the East Bronx, and the West Bronx.
So, you tell me...
We want Trump to come back. Please, bro. Biden, get out of here, bro. I would come to the rally and support Trump, because the Bronx need a change, and we need somebody that's really going to help this community.
I would definitely come to a Trump rally in the South Bronx. I like him.
You do?
Yes.
Yes, I will come to a rally if President Trump was to come to the Bronx, and I also would bring other people to come too and support him.
Would Joe Biden get a warm reception if he came to the Bronx?
No, he wouldn't have, and I'll make sure of that.
Okay, I just have to say this, and this is going to sound awfully rude, but I'm going to say it anyway. They don't need a Donald Trump rally in South Bronx. They need a dentist.
Whoa, easy. Yeah, listen,
I'm
Greg,
sorry, man.
The guy would love to go to a dentist, but guess what? The way the healthcare system is in New York City, thanks to
there you
Joe
go.
Biden and Hillary.
That's what it is. So
they can't get it done. They don't have any spare cash to go next door and get some caps put on. It's not they don't have any money. Listen, it comes down to one issue. There's no money in their pockets. They're telling Biden to get lost. It may have taken 3 years for them to realize that's the reason they don't have any money in their pockets, but that's it. And listen, you had an Asian woman doing the reporting, and she interviewed Black Americans and white Americans there in the South Bronx, probably within spitting distance of Yankee Stadium, right? And they all said, this guy's got to go. Get Donald Trump here. People don't realize how, listen, except for the couple of boroughs in New York City, Donald Trump took New York. He took Long Island. He took upstate, and he was very close in Queens and Brooklyn. All right. It was amazing how close he came to actually, making a difference there in New York State.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I realize also, like I said, I've told you this, my barbershop, and I've been there several times, and I'm like, everybody's like, and they're all like, look, Biden's got to go. I'm supporting Donald Trump. And what's funny about it is for the same exact reason you just said. Look, one dude just flat out, he was in the chair. He just said, look, my pockets were a lot fatter when Donald Trump was president.
That's it.
For those of you who don't speak, for those of you who don't speak urban American, that means he had more money.
Now, Craig, I'm curious, is this before or after you guys discuss Rocky Marciano as not the best fighter ever?
Yeah, we never discuss that. That's just kind of a given that he's not. That's not even, why are we even discussing this?
Because my only experience with the black barbershop is watching Eddie Murphy in Arsenio Hall in
Mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. That's nice. What is that? Velvet?
That's one of
those were the
movies,
funniest scenes in the movie.
I'm watching that movie. I know that McDonald's. Well, I don't even think it's there anymore. But it used to be a McDonald's there in Queens on Queens Boulevard. I know that place. I know the whole place. That place was filmed. So
there you go. All right. Well, hey, we got a couple more here we want to hit up before we go. Here we've got. Being it's election time. Look who's voting by mail this year. Who? That looks like somebody familiar. Do we know who that person is?
Yeah, she's actually not just voting once either. She's voting multiple times now.
She's voting multiple times. Okay, that would be former Senator Dianne Feinstein. May she rest in peace. Okay, and then now Biden is putting out a new campaign message, and it's about him uniting the country. And it says here, Biden has united this country like no other president ever. 86% of Americans now believe that Biden's mental acuity is a problem. Never before has America agreed on anything at this level.
Way to go, Joe.
Way to go, Joe. Bringing it all together. Yeah. And in honor of Black History Month, I'd like to show a point of the progress that we have made. Above, you have drinking fountains. You have 1954. You have a white drinking fountain. You have a colored drinking fountain. Below, you have DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion sessions. One for people who are white, and the other for people of color. They didn't say colored people, but I guess you wow, okay.
Right. Or they did not say Negro either. So
they did not say Negro. Negro was not included. He's a member of the Negroid. Oh, God. Mike, what are we doing? Okay. On that note, it's about that time for us to go. But before we do, let's give once again a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Now you can get rifle and pistol caliber barrels in any length you desire for your next AR rifle or pistol build. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. Check out the California 6th congressional race while you're there. And if you want some tactical gear, you're looking to get your gear on, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. The links are in the description of this program, and let them know that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. And with that, we will call it a show. We will call it a day. We will be back tomorrow on Hump Day. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, stay out of trouble.